Up till now, Xiaomi has held the title of producing the best phones in the budget segments. Many smartphone makers have tried, but few have made the necessary impact. Asus has launched the new Zenfone Max Pro M1 with similar hardware but with two trump cards, the stock Android 8.1 and a cheaper price. Now Xiaomi may have the fan following, but it looks like Asus may have just cracked the formula of making a successful mid-ranger. In this video, we will pit the Redmi Note 5 Pro against the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. We will talk about the performance, the battery life, gaming and pure speed in this video, so watch it. Kicking things off with performance, both the smartphones share the same chipset, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 636. For the uninitiated, the Snapdragon 636 takes the reins over from the popular and reliable Snapdragon 625. The new chipset is also manufactured on the 14nm process, which renders similar power efficiency, but thanks to the more powerful Cryo 280 cores clocked at 1.8 GHz, the Snapdragon 636 offers 40% more performance. Now, relying on the improved chipset, the Redmi Note 5 Pro demolished the existing competition when it launched back in February. The benchmark scores were unchallenged for quite some time till the Zenfone Max Pro came along and matched it at a price Rs 1000 lesser than the Redmi Note 5 Pro. There's a difference of less than 100 points in benchmark scores between the two, with the Redmi Note 5 Pro edging Asus's offering by just a hairline. Then again, the Redmi Note 5 Pro variant we tested had a RAM of 6 GB, while the Zenfone Max Pro had a RAM of just 3 GB. Now let's talk about some gaming. We played PUBG Mobile on both the phones, and frankly the experience was better on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Even though rare, there were frame drops on Zenfone Max Pro, while Xiaomi's phone handled it pretty well. Now both the phones can only run the game on medium graphics, but that's expected. Furthermore, there are some heating on the Redmi phone, but Asus's offering had better thermal performance. Also, thanks to a larger battery on the Zenfone Max Pro, there wasn't that big a drop in battery capacity as compared to the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Now moving over to apps, there's enough firepower in both the phones to handle multiple apps opened at the same time. Split screen works perfectly with minimum stutters, and apps take mostly the same time to open in both the phones. However, the Zenfone Max Pro running on stock Android 8.1 is more optimized and lightweight to handle all sorts of apps, which makes it a little more smoother in handling apps. We did face a few app crashes on the Redmi Note 5 Pro over the course of using it in all these months. Now when it comes to battery, the Zenfone Max Pro tops the spec sheet with a 5000 mAh battery, while the Redmi Note 5 Pro has 1000 mAh lesser. Despite that, the Redmi Note 5 Pro comes neck to neck with the Zenfone Max Pro in terms of battery performance. Both phones can last over a day and a half on a single charge. Asus offers a fast charger with the Zenfone Max Pro that charges the phone in around 2.5 hours, while the Redmi Note 5 Pro takes an awfully long time to charge, which is never a good thing. Now speaking of the UI, Xiaomi's user interface is now more useful than ever and also more optimized than before. The company has introduced a few nifty features that help a lot in using the phone in real life, but stock Android has its own charm. It's lightweight, familiar and easy to use. Anyone who has used an Android phone before will feel instantly familiar with the interface. Also, Asus has promised regular Android security updates and version upgrades just 2 months after Google releases it. The biggest pain point of using a Xiaomi phone is that the company does not seem to care about providing the latest Android version. It has its own flow of things, which makes the phone lose out on a lot of features like picture-in-picture and a more streamlined notification management, among other things. But both stock Android and MIUI have their individual fan following, but having seen smartphones evolve over the time, stock Android has so far proven to be the most reliable among all. So to conclude, we would like to say that it depends on your choice of the user interface. If you like MIUI, then you can consider the Redmi Note 5 Pro. But if stock Android is what you're looking for, then Zenfone is the way to go. As far as raw performance is concerned, both the devices are at par. Now we have a separate comparison as well, where we will pit the camera performance of the two devices. Till then, subscribe to digit.in for more such videos.